Hi guys, welcome to Let's Go Fishing. We are fishing in Klerksdorp Dam today, near Klerksdorp, just outside on the road to Ventersdorp. And I must say, it is a venue that I pass on a frequent basis whenever I do deliveries or go and see clients. And I've always been looking at this place and say, one day I'm going to do a shoot here. And today is that day. And yes, it's our first shoot after lockdown. First time that we get out to do a shoot, and it's proper windy. The August winds are blowing. We are towards the end of August now, and it's also a venue that I fished twice before. The first time that I fished it was way back, just when I started growing into my competitive fishing shoes, and then I did one specimen fishing show here, which didn't go that good. So basically a new venue for me to start out and to fish at. So I'm going to approach this because there's a lot of guys that ask me, what do you do when you have to approach a new venue? I just have to make an apology for the wind. There's nothing we can do on it. It is a fishing show. And I just want to say, we rock up at a dam like you guys rock up. So approaching a new venue, we've got no feed in the water. We don't believe in feeding beforehand. And when we do a specimen show, we'll tell you how much we feed, exactly how much we feed. We don't tell you we only put in a small bucket of feed and then we actually have 10 big buckets of feed in. So we're approaching this dam just like we say in Afrikaans, Jan Almond would do it. The normal guy on the street, that's how we do it. So being a windy morning, being the end of August, the water temperature starting to rise, I've got a couple of combinations that normally works for me. This dam is an Almond dam, so Almond works very good here. And the previous time that I've been here, I fished with Almond Supreme. That was one of my go-to dips, and it was one of the dips that I caught basically all my fish on. But saying that, the conditions are totally different. So today I'm going to approach it a bit differently. I'm going to fish sharper flavors because of the wind and the colder water. So let me show you when I bait up what I do. I'll talk you through it. When I arrived here this morning, I saw the water quality is really good, and I normally don't fish with a hard float. This is something new in our range that's still in its test phase. It's a Kiana hard float, so I've taken out 2 of them here, and there's an increasing amount of anglers that are catching fish just on 2 hard floats. So I'm still struggling to do that. I must get my head out of the way. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a hard float on each hook, but one I'm going to back up with a piece of white dough, just to give me the confidence that if the float comes off, there's still some dough on the hook. So normally we catch most of our fish on the bottom hook, just 2 Kiana hard floats, like I said, new on the market, and then a sweet white dough, and I'm going to back up the bottom one with the white dough, just a little bit of white dough behind it. It's basically going to keep the float just off on the bottom, and the top one will keep the hook up straight. What I normally do on the top of my shaft line, I'll just put a piece of white dough here, and this just keeps the top hook from sliding up too far, and it will keep this little bait quite close to the mealie bomb. And since I've been doing that, I've been catching a lot of fish. The muties that I'm selecting for these conditions is something that I have to talk you through. I'm going to use Kiana, which is the original recipe in Signature Series. It's my daughter's name, and I've been making this ever since I made dips and I came into the market. So this is the original Kiana. This always works in cold conditions and in windy conditions. So normally I don't fish it very heavy, but this morning I'm going to put a bit more of it on. And then what I'm going to fish with the Kiana is something really strong, the Tokulasi, which is a menthol flavor. And the menthol flavor in the colder and windy conditions will draw the fish in quite quickly. And Kiana is something that, like I just said, I fish it everywhere, anywhere, anytime. Everywhere we go, we catch a lot of fish with it. Alright, let's put this around about 80 meters. Ooh, that's fast. We're still baiting up the second rod, and the first rod is off. Lovely. That's quite fast. Just like I said, Kiana always catches fish, the original Kiana, and combine that with Tokolosi. It's one of my favorite combinations that I started using about a year ago, and especially in places like the Vol Dam and Bloemhof when it's windy, it also comes through very, very quickly. And when nobody's catching anything, you can throw that and you can be guaranteed that you're going to buy a bite or two. Oh, this is a nice fish. Alright guys, there's our first fish, and I must say this came out very, very quickly. Still baiting up the second rod, and this fish was off with that combination, that Kiana hard float. It picked up the one with a little white doe behind it, and the Kiana and the Tokolosi that went onto the mealie bomb, and gave me a lekker reef, gave me a lekker fight in this wind. I must say the wind puts a lot of oxygen into the water, and it was a nice real one. But I think I'm going to get this fish back as quick as possible, and then get my long rod out, because I'm fishing one long rod as well. I am seeing some really nice fish jumping out there, much bigger than this one, so hopefully we'll get one of them. That first fish came really quickly, even before I could bait up my second rod. So what I'm going to do on my long rod now, I'm going to throw a SWA float. Now SWA is sweet white almond, that's what it stands for. And like I said, it is a Klerksdorp Dam. I've always known it as an almond venue. So I'm just going to put two floats. Our SWA floats, our soft floats, our oozing floats, is basically, it's a soft float that just oozes out flavor, and they are very soft. So some of them, depending on the hook size that you use, will stand up, but if you use a 08 or a number 08 hook, it will stand up with, and then with a number 1 hook, that will put it on the bottom. I'm fishing number 1 hooks, so, and then there's a correct way of hooking the floats. If I can just untangle my other hook link here, I never hook them in the center. I always skin hook them. I hook them on the side, so that when I push it back, the float back onto the back of the hook, most of the hook is exposed and most of the float is on the outside of the hook. I'm just going to leave that hanging there and hook the other one as well. Same, just a little skin hook like that. They won't come off, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to push the round side of the hook into the bomb like that, and I'm going to put them right next to each other, just like that. Now this is where the almond is going to come in. Green card is one of the new kids on the block in the signature series. It's been out for about 6 months, but it's really catching a lot of fish. So, and it's something, it's something that can't really throw enough of. I like to paint the ball with it like that. It's really strong, really sweet. And then with that, for the wind, I'm going to throw a bit of clove or Spitfire. Spitfire is basically our clove dip. I'll just have it touch one little float like that, and that's how I'm going to put it in. Let's get it out and see how long it takes before it goes. I'm going to throw this a bit further, around about 100 meters. Busy baiting up my second rod or my third rod, and the long rod is off on that green cod almond with that, oh yes, with that SWA float. Feels like another decent fish. I must say, this wind is not making my job easy today. But there's a little fish. This came out on the deep rod. It was in for around about 5 minutes, still baiting up my first rod that went so quickly. So I'm going to get this straight back on that sweet white almond float with a green cod and some Spitfire, and no does behind this one. So also something I don't like doing, but there's a lot of guys that are doing it, and they are doing it with great success. Come on, come, people want to see you. Here we go, let's get him back and catch another one. Thanks, little fella. Let's get him back. That's not nice. Got a mouthful of fish poo. My shallow rod is ready to go out. I'll start on the bottom hook, that Kiana hard float with a piece of white dough behind it, and then on the top hook just the Kiana hard float, and then on the mealy bomb I've got some Kiana on top and some Takalossi on the side, and then of course very important is my little stopper here that's going to stop the top hook from going up too far. That little stopper, white dough stopper, keeps the top hook quite close to the bomb, to the feed. And like I say, if you do that, you're going to catch a lot of more fish on your top hook. Let's get this out and see how long it takes this time. Hi guys, I'm ready to bait up my long rod again. But before I do that, just want to tell you, in 2016 we had a severe drought in South Africa, and this dam here in Klerksdorp totally dried up. All the fish were netted out, and shortly after that we had some good rains, and this water basically comes from Klerksdorp Dam, the Klerksdorp Dam, but there's a river in between with some deep holes and some consistent water, and basically all the fish were flushed out of those deep holes and into the dam, and it's turned this dam into a very, very good fishing venue. Guys fishing here off boats, they frequently catch bags of 60-70 fish per person per day, so it's really a venue where you can have a lot of fun. I'm going to bait up. Let me show you again how we do it. Remember to skin hook the oozing float. They are soft, but they won't come off, and then the correct way to put it into the bomb is use the roundness of the hook and just press it into the mealie bomb like that. And the reason why we do that is simply we don't want the hook to hook into one of the solid pieces or into one of the skins that's in the mealie bomb. So just a little skin hook, most of the hook is exposed, most of the float on the outside of the hook, and again just like that, and then we can add some mooties to that. Green cod, that's our almond. It's almost an almond paste like dip. Lots of fluoro, very strong and very sweet. And then with that I'm just going to put a squirt of the Spitfire, let it run onto that little float. Just do that, just like that. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, take it and go, take it and go. Ooh. Dokkie buiter aan die rand sit. Ooh, fish on. Green cod. Should be green light. That wasn't in for too long, about 2 minutes, and off again. Ooh, yo, 2 fish. Sometimes it happens that you get 2 bites at one time, and what I normally do, especially when I do competitive fishing, the rod that I've given the most attention to, I make sure that I land that fish first. If you land that fish, then you can hurry up and give the other rod attention. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do now, and that's one of the reasons why I always bring 2 landing nets. I'm going to net this fish and I'm going to leave it in the margin with the landing net, put the rod down, and then give attention to the other rod, land that, and use my other landing net to get that fish out. That's exactly now what I thought. This fish went out, and then it started coming back. And sometimes when they do that, they get slack line and they can actually unhook themselves. And if I got into a panic with that fish, I might have lost that one, and there's no guarantee that this one is going to stay on. So when you got the second one on, take your time, because with slack line you often lose fish. So I'm just going to take my time to land this one now. I'd rather keep 100% landing rate than catch one and tag one. These are surely not the biggest fish in the world, but what we do is reality, and it's a horrible day for a picnic, but a great day for fishing. Like I said, we've got no feed in the water, we just have quality products and we have a sound game plan. Lovely, just simply lovely to catch fish on a horrible day, and it's always nice to have success. My shallow rod is ready to go out again. Exactly the same hook baits, that Kiana hard float with a white dough behind it on the bottom hook, and then the top hook is just the Kiana hard float. That last little fish I caught on just a float, and then the Kiana and the Tokolossi on the millibomb, and my little dough stopper. A lot of people ask me, can't I put a gummy stop there? And the answer is simply no, because then you lose the length of your rig, which is very important when it comes to sensitive fishing. So put a little white dough there, it softens up, and if the fish picks up that white dough, you still have a longish rig, especially when they are shy. So don't put a gummy stop there, just put that little white dough there. It makes a big difference for me, and if it works for me, it will definitely work for you. My long rod is ready to go back out again. Those two sweet white almond floats pushed back into the millibomb, just the same as we did it. I thought of changing it up, but I want to give this another go. Then the red on the bomb is the Spitfire. That's that strong clove dip, and then that brown is the green cod, which is the almond fluorescent one. It really works well. If you come to Klerksdorp Dam, try it. It works for me. It's definitely going to catch you a fish. Fish on. I just had a check on my phone about this wind, and this is a cold front pushing through. Now if Klerksdorp Dam is giving fish like this with a cold front pushing in, I'm definitely going to be returning to fish it on a normal day, because then it's going to be hectic. We are really catching the fish with ease. It's not difficult to catch them. I think the dips that we are using is the right combination for the right circumstances. When you have extreme conditions like this, always trying to combine something really sharp or something very stinky with something sweet, but don't be shy with the dips. And I think that's something that we've done right. This fish is moving right over to the right hand side. I'm just afraid it's going to pick up my other rod, and it's already picked it up. Like I said, not the biggest fish in the world. I'm definitely going to change this up now. I'm fishing a really light weight, M0 weight, and I think in this wind it's not helping me a lot. I'm going to do two things now. Go to an M1.5 weight and then fish a bit deeper with that. And then the other major thing that I'm going to change is I'm going to go to a bit of turbo garlic floats and see if we can get a bigger fish. But big or small, we catch them all. And to catch fish on a day like this, if it works for me, it's definitely going to work for you. If you come here, do what we do, and you'll have success. I'm going to show you guys the correct way to put on a mealie bomb. There's a lot of people that struggle with it. So the first thing that you need to do is to compact the mealie bomb really tight and into a shape that's going to suit you. This is the shape that suits me. Then I hook my line on the loop on the trace onto my stand, And what I do, I'll cut the mealie bomb with my shaft line of the trace. And at the bottom, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to push the weight in like that. I'll normally pull it in, and just keep this line tight. Keep it in the center of the mealie bomb, and then just twist and turn with your hands. Everybody's got a different way of doing it, but what you need to do is to try and keep the weight in the center at the bottom, and keep the line in the center of the mealie bomb while you're twisting and turning. And at the end of the day, if you get it symmetric around the line onto the weight, you'll be able to cast a softer ball a bit further. And when it's done, this is how it should look. And when you spin it, there mustn't be a wobble in it. It must spin nice and equal like that. And then you're going to be able to cast a softer ball a longer way, and it will eliminate a lot of casting problems. A lot of people can cast, but they can't put on a mealie bomb. So learn how to do this, and your fishing will improve by a lot. I'm going to make a change up on my deep rod. One of my big fish floats is a garlic oozing float, and it's pink in color. It really works well. Also oozing floats, very soft. I'm going to put it on, and then I'm going to fish with a bit of turbo garlic, and I'm going to put some G-Fox with that just to get some fluorescein in the water, because it seems like they do love the fluorescein dips in here. Same hook method. I'm going to skin hook the garlic floats and push them back into the mealie bomb. Turbo garlic, most probably one of the strongest garlics on the market. I love to do this with it. With the turbo garlic, I'm going to put some G-Fox, just paste it all over the bomb, just like that. There's another fish on the Kiana with the Tokolosi, and just those two hard Kiana floats, man, it works quickly. Not a very big fish, but one that gave me a lekker reef and a lekker fight. I'm going to get it back, make a change up on the small rod, on the short rod, let me say short rod, not small rod, and let's see if we can get something a bit bigger. Thank you, little fellow. My main reason for going to the black magic floats is coming out of winter, your bun spice, cinnamon, aniseed type floats always catches you something different, and the bigger fish just love it. They start to feed up for the spawn because they're going to need a lot of energy when the spawn comes along, and that normally happens with your first range. So just two black magic floats like that, oozing floats, the soft ones out of the Signature Series range, and then on the bomb I'm going to put some black magic. A lot of guys think black magic is a molasses dip. It's also one of my original baits that has been developed a long time ago, and also something that I'm not afraid to throw. That's quite a bit on there, and what I'm going to do with that is just a bit of chop. This is my left and right arm, and if I had a third arm it would have been that as well. With that combination I've caught fish all over the world, and it's something that I can throw with a lot of confidence, and I can honestly tell you, if this works in Klerksdorp Dam, that's all you need to bring here, and you're going to catch a lot of fish. We've got a bite here on the deep rod on that garlic. Let's see what's on here. This is not a very big fish, which just goes to show that there is a lot of small fish in Klerksdorp Dam at this stage. The garlic is normally something that's almost a guarantee to catch a bigger fish, especially in the Vaal River system and places where there is bigger carp. But nevertheless, it still worked, and it's still the result. And on a day like this with the front pushing in, what a pleasure. We've had a quick fire session this morning here at Klerksdorp. Almost blew away. This wind is just gusting it out. But I'm definitely returning here. I think it's an awesome venue to bring the wife and the kids and have some fun in an afternoon session. I think if you just do the basics like we did and fish at around about 60 to 80 meters, you're going to have a lot of fun and catch a lot of fish. Not a bad fish. Like I said, not the ideal fishing conditions, but I'll take them all. This is around about a kilo, 1.2 kilos. A lot of fun, a lot of fun. Big or small, we catch them all. The last fish I had now was on these pink garlic oozing floats with the turbo garlic and the G-Fox on the millibomb. So, and this is what I did. I just skin hooked it like that and pushed the round side of the hook into the millibomb, and I'm doing exactly the same. And people ask why we do this, and it's simple. We want the float next to the millibomb, especially when it dissolves. Sometimes that carp doesn't even know he's picking up a float. A lot of turbo garlic like that. I think I'm going to leave the G-Fox and I'm going to put some Confucius with the turbo garlic. Very, very strong fruity flavor. Just sometimes I have the spur of the moment ideas, and especially in tournaments I've learned to trust my instinct. Where is this policeman gone to? There's a fish on. I chop with the black magic and the black magic floats. It always works. It always works. There's a lot of people that is a bit confused about the distribution of the Signature Series. Now, Kingfisher did the distribution for Signature Series for about a year, and then when COVID came, everything just got fast-tracked, and I now have to do my own distribution. There's simply just not enough money in the system of distributing dips through a third party. And I just want to thank Kingfisher for what they've done for me. They are an awesome company, and I've got a lot of close friends at Kingfisher. Guys, thanks for what you've done for me. And we have parted ways, but in a very nice way. And forthcoming, I'm going to handle my own distribution. So if there's any shops out there that want new price lists and stuff like that, just on the screen there's an email address. Just send us an email with your shop name. We're going to correspond via email with you, and we can get the ball rolling. and we can get our products to you and to our clients and your clients. This feels like a nice fish. Oh, fishy, 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 fishy. Ooh, into the net. Guys, there's another beautiful little fish. Not the biggest fish in the world, but that's not what we're trying to do. In this program, in our series, we're just trying to show you how easy it can be, even in difficult days, it is to catch fish. If you use our products right, do what we do, you're bound to have success. Easy fishing, just use the products right. Learn how to think like a fish. That's not easy, but if you use our products, it's going to be much easier for you. I'm going to let this one go and see if I can catch another one. My short rod is ready to go back in. Again, just those two black magic floats with some black magic on the bottom. That's the darker color. And then on the back side of the bomb, just some chop chop. Like I said, my left and my right arm. I'm going to get it into this wind and see if I can catch another big one. The big ones have been eluding us, but I get a feeling I just need to continue and something's going to happen. That's a proper chop chop fish. Normally, when I say I want to catch a bigger fish with chop chop, this is what happens. But it is one of those baits that do catch a lot of fish. Chop chop black magic and the black magic floats. Whenever you battle, throw that combination, you will get something. I'm going to get this little guy back and get the day on the roll. Hey, there's another fish on. Guys, this is our last fish for this program. Thanks for joining. Remember to hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell. And please tell people about Let's Go Fishing. That's our YouTube channel. And please spread the word about Signature Series. Until next time, travel safe, be safe, and keep the lines tight.